Please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, should we call you Chandana or Janvi?
Chandana, sir.
Chandana. Chandana, please introduce yourself to the board.
Yes, sir. So, my name is K.N. Chandana Janvi. I hail from the city of Hyderabad in Telangana. I have done engineering from BIT Mesra and management from IIM Indore. Post that, I worked in the private sector, and through UPSC CSE 2020, I have been recommended to the Indian Corporate Law Service. I have undergone training for 21 months, and through UPSC CSE 2022, I have been recommended to Indian Revenue Service Income Tax. And currently, I am on extraordinary leave, sir. And my hobbies include practicing basics of Carnatic music and also taking part in certain reading challenges.
So, you have not joined the NIDT yet?
No, sir.
So, but you would still leave the Indian Revenue Service for the police and foreign service and also?
Yes, sir. For my preference order happens to be IAS, IFS and IPS, sir.
So, you know, in the income tax, we have this PAN number and we also have an Aadhaar number. What is the need for both of them? Why don't you have one Aadhaar only?
So based on my understanding, PAN has come before and Aadhaar as a number was introduced as a proof of identity. And now we are seeing that PAN and Aadhaar both are being linked. So in the...
Why link them? Why don't have Aadhaar only?
Sir, my understanding is that PAN has been there for long and all the taxation records have more or less have used it as a source code for their
so it'll take a long time
returns.
Okay. Now, you see, supposing you get into the IAS in Telangana cadre. Telangana has a lot of still remnants of the Maoist elements. The part of the red corridor is still there. You understand what the red corridor is? Okay. So, how will you, if you are posted as a district magistrate, try to sort out the problems, try to integrate them?
Certain districts in Telangana have seen the Naxal movement before, and the main approach that has been adopted has been having a force like greyhounds. Today we have Octopus in the region of Telangana, which is a specialized police force that is taking care of it. As an IAS or a district magistrate there, my role would be to ensure development in that region. Development, be it in respect to education, health and so on, and those parameters, to ensure that citizens trust the district going forward. So education, health, skill development, and to bring more jobs and so on, and to ensure that youth see a better future and they do not become disillusioned again.
So, what about creating a trust in the tribal population which is involved in Naxalism right now? What about the trust deficit that already exists? How would you, remove that trust deficit?
So I would have to build upon the previous models that have taken place, be it in Jharkhand or be it in certain areas of Orissa and so on. Here, mainly we have seen that one is to take care of women as a community, where women empowerment and to bring forward self-help groups and so on, and to give them another way of looking at it. Second is for youth. Here, for tribal youth and so on, we have seen certain schools like Ekalavya schools take root. So some of these have to be broad based so that they pursue the education that they want. So the trust deficit, I believe, sir, will be very very gradual in that manner, but Telangana as a state has seen some of these move away. So I believe it will be in education and so on, even with respect to tribal population in general.
When I asked you this question first, you started talking about the force. So, the first thing that came to your mind was the use of force to sort out the problem.
Sir, when we talk about Telangana and Andhra Pradesh in general, and the Naxalism problem in general, we have seen how greyhounds as a force, they have a human element also and a humane element also on ground, due to which people were able to trust.
What kind of a human element?
So, to what I know, some of the greyhound commanders are when somebody surrenders, certain Naxal officials who surrendered, they've been given protection by Greyhound commanders and so on, and this has helped a lot of people move away and to trust the forces that they would be protected in case they move out of such an arena.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you are on the technical side, you have done well, and you also now in the government in different capacities you have been there. And let me take you on towards foreign policy and say Ministry of External Affairs. You will find Ministry of External Affairs occupying front pages very often. So what is the change as a citizen? That are you able to relate to Ministry of External Affairs, or is it something which is practiced in Delhi by a few people, very elegant people? But in practical ways, how do you relate to foreign policy, Government of India, its external activities? Is there something you're noticing?
So one issue that I face is maybe as an aspirant, or I've been able to notice more of it. I do not know if it comes from my preparation for civil services or as a normal citizen, but I'm able to see that whatever stance we take is in general very eloquent. So I believe a lot of citizens are able to discuss about it also, be it with respect to our stand. I can think of one example when some Western media questioned our foreign minister on our stance on why we are buying oil from Russia. A statement that was made by the foreign minister was not only in the news, but it was widely circulated. So I believe that our foreign policy today is reaching masses, and a lot of people are able to understand the nitty-gritties of it.
Yeah, that is at one level. But is it close to you or is it far away? In the internet age, let me help you with that. Do you find getting a passport or a tweet or any other kind of messaging, are you able to reach and get a response? Is that not something that is changed through technology?
Yes, sir. This has also changed, sir.
And Indians in trouble, have you noticed they have been evacuated from some places?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which are some of those major successes in bringing out Indians from trouble zones? Can you remember some of them?
Yes, sir. So one was with Afghanistan. We were able to bring back certain people. Secondly, with also Ukraine, where we were able to bring back around 11,000 students from the war-torn zone. And apart from that, I can also think about events of the past, like countries like Yemen. When Yemen was war hit, we were able to bring back citizens from there. Sudan, Libya also, if I remember correctly, sir.
Yes. And do you think that diaspora has overall a kind of positive influence and a positive role for India, or is there something we need to be careful about getting too close to a diaspora? You remember that at one time we thought diaspora, the people who left India for a better life. Yeah. Is there some change you notice now, the way we look at diaspora, an asset or a liability?
Sir, today we recognize diaspora majorly as an asset, even if we have certain problems that we have seen in certain countries. But in general, diaspora have been very helpful and very important for India. They are an important source of soft power, as we call it. And apart from whatever we have seen them as people who have left India, today we are seeing them as people who are bringing back a lot of remittance, or we would want them to bring back a lot more investment into the country and so on. So I think there's a lot more of seeing them as an asset.
Thanks.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm talking to a IRS officer, lady officer, so I must wish you good evening and say ma'am also. All right, now Chandana, now please tell me, what is K.M. Munshi best known for?
Sir, I would have to say literature.
Establishment of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan.
Yes, sir,
all
even the
over
school.
The world.
And also, as he was a part of the drafting committee of our constitution.
Great. I am very Vidya Bhavan, so I was happy to see K.M. Munshi's name there. Now, what is that they don't teach you at the management schools? Do they teach you the genius and simplicity? Because in management school, what is taught is that big problems have big solutions. Actually, big problems have very simple, and genius and simplicity is never taught. What is your comment on this?
So, Indian management education has taken the replica of Harvard model in general, where even today most of our case studies are what Harvard Public School has published.
Gave us. There's hardly any. There's a book on Chanakya and management. Have you read that?
No, sir, I have not read it.
There's a great book written by somebody from Hyderabad only. All right. Now, what is this blue ocean strategy? I'm sure you have read about it.
Yes, sir. Blue ocean strategy is when a company creates an opportunity out of nowhere, that there was no need felt by a consumer, but all of a sudden it becomes so important that they have created their own opportunity. If I had to think of an example, for example, iPods, sir.
Fight. There is a crowded fight. There are so many people vying for the same thing, and you go away and create a separate opportunity. That is what is. Who gave us the word knowledge worker first, and when?
Sorry, sir, I will read upon this.
In 1964, there was a book which he wrote and first time used the word knowledge worker. All right, now DuPont, you are a chemical engineer, so I am sure you have heard about DuPont. What is this DuPont?
I remember DuPont formula and in chemical technology.
No. DuPont is a corporate house.
Yes. Apart from that, there's also in chemical technology, there's a DuPont formula that is used for reactors.
And Teflon, what kind of polymer is it? Have you heard of Teflon?
Yes, sir, I have heard, sir. I will have to read a little more on
Doesn't
that.
matter. Where is NCL located?
National Chemical Laboratory.
Of course, you are a chemical engineer. That is why I am asking about NCL. Where is it located?
Sir, I remember Pune, but I will.
No, it is here. We are sitting here. NCL is here in Delhi. Thank you.
Okay, Chandana, Ranchi, Bangalore,
Yes.
Indore, and Hyderabad. Hyderabad. 4 cities, right? What is it that Indore is doing right that these places are not? Why is Indore figuring at #1 position? You know, in what?
Yes, ma'am. In Swachh Sarvekshan Survey, it has topped the list for being the cleanest city for the 7th time.
Yeah. So why can't it be replicated?
Ma'am, I think Bangalore and Hyderabad will come, as metropolises will be a different matter. But Indore in general has caught the problem that the city had, which was with respect to waste collection, and then was able to streamline it end to end up till waste processing and to be able to even recycle water and become a water plus city. So I believe Indore got the process correct in comparison to the rest of the cities, which must be emulated by others also. And the second aspect that I would want to add is also leadership that in Indore we have seen. Leadership even at the ground level, where we have Safai Mitras who take up the initiative of ensuring that their wards are clean. So I think the leadership percolation has really worked for Indore.
Okay, so I guess if you become an IAS officer, you can replicate, take the model elsewhere. Yeah? At least you have the model in front of you. You have a model, and that model it's totally irreplicable. All right, now since you're a chemical engineer, what is the major cause of pollution out of chemical effluents?
Ma'am, I can just think of untreated effluents that are released, which end up reacting with water.
You tell me, you're the specialist, not me.
Ma'am, most of the times these are nitrates and sulfates. When they end up reacting with water, we see acidic reactions, and we also see a lot of foam generation and so on in water pollution methodology. And also with respect to air pollution, most of these are oxides, be it nitrates, sulfates, and so on.
This dyeing and printing industry, it's one of the major causes also. And in Rajasthan, I'm sure elsewhere also, some rivers have just gone dry, because of these effluents and they are packed with acid. So what could be an alternative?
With respect to dyeing and printing industry in general, ma'am, or in like an overall?
Yeah. It's The clothing industry, in fact, is one of the major causes of pollution.
Ma'am, to what I know that there was certain research that is going on into biodegradable materials that can be used, but long-term usage of the same has also been debated. The second aspect has been about technical textiles which is being promoted, which do not use the dye and tan method. They bring about certain raw materials like coconuts to utilize the raw material from there and make materials more sustainable. I will have to think about what are the
Just
more.
think about it.
Yes.
Okay? All the very best.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Chandana, very good evening. So with respect to recently conducted elections, what sociological observations did you make?
Sir, Telangana state elections.
May it be campaigning, may it be election manifesto, or may it be results?
So some of the things that I can notice is one is with respect to women. Telangana had many schemes, be it with respect to any party, announcing schemes for women as a community. We now have a free bus scheme that is in place, and a model of giving certain amount of money to women has also been discussed. Second is with respect to youth. A major issue in Telangana over the last 2-3 years has been with respect to TSPSC and the conduct of examinations which were with paper leaks and so on. So a major part of the campaigning and so on was about how a revamp will be made in respect to TSPSC and new members will be reinstated and the process will be streamlined effectively. So a youth factor was also seen. And the third is with respect to continuation of schemes. The scheme of Dalita Bandhu was spoken about even by all the parties in general. It was considered as a model that must be taken for marginalized communities. So I believe these are three things that I take forward from campaigning for the state elections.
There was also campaigns about scheduled castes.
Sorry.
So what exactly?
So there were two communities, Mala community and Madhika community, and the issue has been raised that Madhika community has not received its due and with respect to this, and that they would want a categorization of the SC community so that equitable arrangement can be come at.
What they could not utilize?
Sir, that they were not able to utilize the opportunity for education and public employment.
The next one, with respect to budget, what's the GDP growth forecast?
Sir, I just remember the last RBI report that it was stating around 7%.
Okay. So IMF has also made some forecasts, right, for G20 nations.
Yes, sir.
So what's India's position in that?
So I do not exactly remember the position, but I believe that India is one of the fastest growing in G20.
So GDP growth. So what are the reasons for ongoing global economic slowdown, especially in the Europe and the rest of the world?
Sir, I want to highlight that there are two parameters here. One is with respect to the post-COVID scenario, where we have seen that most of the companies or corporates that drive these, they made a lot of investment then and are now waiting to see how policy will be stabilized. At least in USA, we are seeing a lot of layoffs and so on because there is a little bit of instability there. Second thing is how West in general has also seen a method of stagnation. And third is about local factors also. For example, in US, in the last year, we have seen 3 banks fail. So some of these have a lot of network effects going forward on the economy and economic public sentiment in general. So I believe some of these are the factors that we are seeing. So recently, what was declared as UK, based on the parameters, has entered recession, and similar thing has happened with Japan, based on the parameters of the last 4 months. So I believe some of these factors are responsible for it.
So given the situation around, what can drive India's growth?
So the fact that Western nations are slowing down gives a lot of hope to a lot of investors that we will be able to make a better return if we invest that money in India. So that is a reason that is also driving. And the second is with respect to China. We've also seen that China's economy is also not performing the way it must, be it with respect to real estate sector that was highlighted in the news for a long time. We see a lot of investment that can come into India, and apart from that, what we are seeing is also there's a lot of stability of policies and schemes like PLI, profit-linked incentive schemes, which are very important in ensuring a lot of growth can also happen in the manufacturing sector. That will have a ripple effect on jobs, employment, and so on.
With respect to this growth, is India growing or is India in the bubble stage? Or is India slow growth?
So based on the parameters, I believe India is in the growth. So based on the parameters, I believe India is in the growth stage.
Okay,
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
All the
sir.
best.
Thank you,
All the
ma'am.
best.
Thank you, sir.